This month is the 25th anniversary of the first summer I was at Tanglewood. And when Leonard Bernstein was alive, he would teach the conductors, and he would always do one evening with the composers, the composition fellows. And the deal was that the composers had to make dinner for him. And somehow I was the one who got elected, voted, I don't know, to make dinner. So I made lasagna. I remember this vividly. I was more nervous to make lasagna for Leonard Bernstein than I was to show him my music. And so this was in 1986, and he died, I think, in 1990 or around there. So he was not well already. He had emphysema, and he really wasn't well. The reason why I bring that up is because we started our dinner with him at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We ate early, and then he spent the rest of the time until 3 o'clock the next morning listening to our music and commenting in depth on every single person's music. It wasn't cursory. He didn't look at the score and listen to the piece and say, oh, you should have done this here, or this didn't work there. He, on a first listening, was able to tell you exactly what did and didn't work about your piece and to basically size you up. And some of my colleagues were a little bit put off by the sizing up he did of us, but in fact, if we all were honest with ourselves, he was right. And I think it's important to make that point because, now he's been gone for, many years, and I think we forget what an incredibly fantastic musician he was. Composer and conductor and educator. So when it was my turn for him to listen to my piece, I think I was 4th or 5th. There were 9 of us. He listened to my piece. It was a piece for tenor, string quartet, and percussion. And he listened to the whole piece, and then he sort of looked at me, and then he tweaked my nose. He went like this, sort of a thing you do to a little child, And he said, "You're too modest." And I thought, Leonard Bernstein is telling me I'm too modest. Don't really know what to do with that. That's amazing. And then he said that my music reminded him of a cross between Stephen Sondheim and Anton Webern. Anton Webern is one of the early 12-tone composers, very sparse, pointillistic composer. Stephen Sondheim and Anton Webern's music doesn't sound anything like each other. They are in many, many ways opposed, although there are points of commonality if you really study their music. But that's how he described my music, and it's not really that far off. As a matter of fact, in many ways, it's a pretty good description. So that and his tirelessness and his focus and his ability to know who we all were as composers instantly and to devote so much time when he wasn't really doing that well was inspirational to me and was mind-boggling to me in a way. Oh, he said my lasagna had too much garlic in it, but he liked it. I think he was having, he wasn't that well, and so he was on sort of a restricted diet, and he really liked it, but I think he wasn't supposed to eat a lot of onions and garlic and spicy things. So, yes, I cooked dinner for Leonard Bernstein.